5 years from now, the world will not collapse. It will continue, quietly, efficiently, almost invisibly. But beneath that calm surface, a brutal redistribution will have already taken place. Not of resources, not of opportunities, but of relevance. Because in the coming era, relevance will be the ultimate currency, and most people will lose it without ever realizing when it slipped away. You will still wake up. You will still go to work. You will still follow routines that feel familiar. But your economic significance, your ability to generate meaningful income, will begin to erode. Not abruptly, not dramatically, but gradually, and then all at once. And by the time you notice it, you will already be on the wrong side of the shift. The invisible evolution. What makes this transformation so dangerous is not its speed, but its subtlety. There will be no global announcement, no moment where the world pauses and declares, "Everything has changed." Instead, change will seep into your life through small, almost imperceptible cracks. A task that once required 10 people will require 1. A skill that once took years to master will be replicated in seconds. A job that once felt secure will become optional. This is not a temporary disruption. It is a systemic recalibration of value itself. The world is no longer rewarding effort in isolation. It is rewarding leverage, adaptability, and cognitive precision. In other words, it is no longer enough to work hard. You must work in a way that the modern world cannot easily replace. The collapse of traditional value. For generations, society operated on a predictable exchange. Time for money. Obedience for stability. Consistency for security. But that exchange is disintegrating, because time is now abundant, labor is now global, and obedience is easily automated. The marketplace no longer asks, "How long did you work?" It asks, "How much impact did you create?" And impact, unlike effort, is not evenly distributed. One individual with the right idea, the right execution, and the right leverage can outperform thousands. This is why the gap between the average and the exceptional is widening at an unprecedented rate. Not because the exceptional are working harder, but because they are operating within a different paradigm. The architects of future wealth. In this emerging landscape, wealth will not be accidental. It will be engineered, and those who engineer it will belong to a distinct psychological and strategic class. Number 1. The curators of attention. These individuals understand that attention is no longer a byproduct of value. It is value itself. They do not merely participate in the digital world. They orchestrate it. They know how to capture curiosity, sustain engagement, and influence perception. Because in a saturated environment, visibility is not optional. It is survival. And those who can command attention will possess a disproportionate share of opportunity. Number 2. The architects of leverage. Leverage is the ability to amplify output without proportionally increasing effort. It is the force multiplier of the modern economy. These individuals build systems, digital, financial, or intellectual, that operate independently of their constant involvement. They understand code. They understand capital. They understand content. And most importantly, they understand that true wealth is not earned repeatedly. It is constructed once and compounded indefinitely. Number 3. The polymaths of the new era. Specialization, once considered the pinnacle of expertise, is now insufficient in isolation. The future belongs to those who synthesize disciplines, who can merge analytical thinking with creativity, technology with human behavior, strategy with execution. These individuals are not confined by a single identity. They are fluid, adaptive, interdisciplinary, and in a world of increasing complexity, those who can connect disparate domains will command extraordinary value. Number 4. The perpetual learners. Knowledge is no longer static. It is dynamic, evolving, and often ephemeral. What you know today may be obsolete tomorrow. The individuals who will thrive are those who have detached their identity from what they know and anchored it instead to their capacity to learn. They do not resist change. They anticipate it. They do not fear irrelevance. They outpace it, because in the long arc of progress, learning is not an activity. It is a survival mechanism. Number 5. The practitioners of deliberate discomfort. Perhaps the most overlooked advantage of all is the ability to endure discomfort voluntarily. While the majority seek convenience, these individuals seek growth. They impose structure where others indulge chaos. They choose discipline where others choose distraction. They understand a fundamental truth. The modern world is engineered for comfort, but comfort is antithetical to progress. And so they operate against the current. They do what is cognitively demanding, emotionally taxing, and temporally delayed, because they know that everything valuable lies on the other side of resistance, the descent into irrelevance. Now consider the alternative, because not everyone will ascend. Many will drift, slowly, quietly, almost imperceptibly, into economic insignificance, not due to lack of intelligence, not due to lack of opportunity, but due to inertia. They will cling to outdated models. They will prioritize comfort over competence. They will consume endlessly, without ever creating. And perhaps most dangerously, they will underestimate the rate of change. They will assume that minor adjustments are sufficient for a fundamentally different world. But evolution does not negotiate. It does not accommodate hesitation. It rewards alignment and penalizes stagnation. The psychological reconfiguration. If you intend to be among those who thrive, the transformation required is not merely external. It is psychological. You must reconfigure how you perceive time, not as something to spend, but as something to allocate with precision. Effort, not as a guarantee of reward, but as a component of a larger strategy. Failure, not as a verdict, but as data. And identity, not as fixed, but as fluid and continuously evolving. Because the greatest barrier to your future success will not be the external environment. It will be your attachment to an outdated version of yourself. The inevitable decision. So now, the question is no longer theoretical. It is immediate, because whether you acknowledge it or not, you are already participating in this transition. Every day, through your habits, your focus, and your decisions, you are either aligning with the future or resisting it. There is no neutral position, no safe middle ground, only progression or decline. 5 years from now, the world will not ask you how hard you tried. It will not reward you for your intentions. It will simply reflect back, with absolute precision, who you chose to become. And in that reflection, there will be two types of people: those who adapted and now possess leverage, autonomy, and wealth, and those who hesitated and now struggle to remain relevant. Money will not vanish. Opportunity will not disappear. They will merely consolidate into the hands of those who understood the shift. So the real question is not whether the future will change. It is whether you will. Because in 5 years, only a few will make money. Decide now which side of that line you will stand on.